In some areas of China, in that region, the internet access is only just being restored now. And this is what Lieberman wants to give to Obama. So the Chinese government, with its system that Lieberman wants America to emulate, uses its power to regulate and shut down the internet to silence political activism and oppress downtrodden people. This is what Lieberman wants. He said he wanted it on CNN. This is the Chinese model that's being introduced worldwide. This is why free speech, the lights of free speech are going out on the internet across the globe. And of course, I mean, you routinely hear stories about how the Chinese government temporarily will suspend Twitter, Google, YouTube, even major websites like this, you know, in politically sensitive times. When things are getting a little too heated for them, they shut down parts of the internet. This is the kill switch that Obama will get his hands on if this Senate bill is passed over the next few weeks. Also in China, news websites require users, if they want to leave comments, if they want to criticize the state, for example, if the state's, you know, involved in wrongdoing, they have to register their true identities just to be able to leave a comment. Now, of course, this is the wider evisceration of anonymity on the internet. In a sense, this is more alarming than merely the power to shut down parts of the internet. Because if you eviscerate anonymity on the internet, it completely chills free speech from the outset. So in China, people are completely reluctant to leave comments which criticize the state or the authorities because they have to put in their true identity to leave a comment on a news website. So they're less likely to engage in dissent. This is about chilling free speech. This is what Lieberman wants for the United States of America under his cybersecurity bill. Now, there's now talk in China of not just a blacklist, but the construction of a whitelist of websites, whereby you as a website owner would have to apply to the government for permission to have a website. And we've linked to the articles on prisonplanet.com numerous times where this would mean, quote, millions of completely innocuous websites would be banned. Not merely because the government would refuse permission to websites which it deemed might criticize the state, but just through sheer incompetence with licensing systems. Many people who apply are not even going to get a response because of the bureaucracy, the red tape, the incompetence. So now they're moving beyond just a blacklist and saying that you need to apply for a license, for permission to have a website. This is a whitelist in effect. And this is what the entire cybersecurity agenda is all about, as we'll get to in a moment. Now, Obama himself has openly criticized the Chinese government's policy of internet censorship, saying it blocks the free flow of information. And yet, under this Lieberman legislation, Protecting Cyberspace as a National Asset Act, about to be voted on by the Senate, he would have these very same powers to block the free flow of information. This is what Lieberman wants Obama to have under this bill, and it's in the bill. He wants the Chinese system. And what is the Chinese system exclusively centered around? Nothing to do with real security, and everything to do with keeping people oppressed by eliminating any means of widespread dissent and preventing people from organizing politically. It's got nothing to do with foreign hackers or terrorists. This is all overblown. And the fact that it's about political oppression was admitted by Lieberman himself, because he said he wanted the Chinese model. This is what the Chinese model represents. And as we mentioned before, it's not merely about, you know, giving Obama the power to shut down certain segments of the internet. It's a war on anonymity. Even if the government was able to shut down parts of the internet, all the experts say that new networks are guaranteed to pop up to replace them. So the problem's not going to be access, because new networks will usurp the old ones shut down by the government. Of course, that's going to be a problem, but there is a way around it. And indeed, as the people who have attempted to downplay concerns about the kill switch legislation say, Obama already, in a sense, has the power to order the internet shut down under the Communications Act. Now, all this new Lieberman legislation does is formally codify that power, which is alarming in itself. But the key thing, the real threat posed by the wider cybersecurity agenda, is this implementation of government-approved ID tokens to use the internet. This is a licensing system, in effect, to use the internet. And Obama's cybersecurity coordinator, Howard Schmidt, in a paper he compiled with the aid of the National Security Council, said that the strategy revolves around, and this is out of the Financial Times of London, quote, the creation of a system for identity management that would allow citizens to use additional authentication techniques such as physical tokens or modules on mobile phones to verify who they are before buying things online or accessing such sensitive information as health or banking records, report the Financial Times. And then it says, only with this government-issued token will internet users be able or be allowed to, quote, move from website to website. So only through this licensing, this ID token, will you be able to visit certain websites. This is a step beyond the Chinese system. This is more draconian. The ID system, apart from leaving comments on news websites, as I mentioned earlier, you have to leave your personal identity to do that in China. But China, in fact, rejected giving ID cards for bloggers, as it were. So this cybersecurity program that Obama's coordinator is proposing is more draconian than the current Chinese system. So this is going to create a World Wide Web that's completely sterile, a World Wide Web in which anonymity is completely removed, and if you engage in the hate speech, as they call it, of criticising government, then they can merely revoke your license and not allow you to be a blogger, not allow you to run your own website in the first place. So it's about the power to shut down the internet, and above and beyond it, it's about the creation of individual ID cards or licenses for internet users. This is the real agenda behind cybersecurity. This is what is in Lieberman's bill, and this is what's in the white paper outlined by Obama's cybersecurity czar. This is what they want for the internet. This is the death of free speech on the internet. And in addition to this, we've got, as it came out over the last few days, the TSA installing software on their network which blocks websites that contain, quote, controversial information. Again, this is about eliminating, sidelining, dissent against the state. I mean, the TSA, there's been an explosion in complaints against the TSA because they harass people on a routine basis in airports. Pregnant women, severely disabled people, the elderly, are all being manhandled, brutalized by the TSA on a regular basis.